What up, y'all? At work, like always, because I don't really ever fucking do these little podcast things when I'm not at work, because I got more time than I really need in a van, I guess. That's kind of what happens. Just kind of sit here, listen to the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm going to do something different, because I'm about to get into a shit ton of traffic. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm about to get in bad traffic. And it's easy to drive and talk. Yeah. So, I've been struggling with the idea of, why do I feel like I have a stance to make these videos? What have I done that I can use to, like, give to you guys? Give to somebody? What's the reasoning behind wanting to do, because I want to do these videos. I want to do stand-up comedy. I want to do, like, improv. Like, I want to try to get back and do, like, a theater thing, because I'm tired of being afraid of people, and I know that that's going to make me stop being afraid of people, because I'm awkward in situations. I don't know how to talk to people very well. I suck at communications. I get super, like, when it comes into contact with talking to people. I guess everybody would call that anxiety. I call that I'm not very well developed in, I haven't had a lot of time with people in my life, realistically. So, we will go back to why I feel like I'm cool or whatever, or that I should have a voice, I guess. I don't know, like, what to say. So, I've been through a fucking lot in my life, from what I think I remember. But, I mean, today, who the fuck knows what's real or not? Who the fuck knows if what's in my head was really what happened, like, in my life? Or who the fuck knows that, like, it's affected me in the way that it has and made me be who I am? Who the fuck knows? I don't fucking know. There's people that are like, oh, this moment defined my life. I don't think I have that many moments that define my life. But, I don't know. Maybe. So, I've been through a lot. I was pretty sure I was diagnosed with ADHD and emotional behavioral disorders when I was in kindergarten. One of my earliest memories of school is, I think it was kindergarten. I'm pretty sure it was kindergarten, and I swore at somebody and got suspended, or got in trouble. I'm pretty sure I got suspended in kindergarten. But Parkway, I grew up from pretty much 0 to 10 in East St. Paul. I went to Parkway Elementary School. It was rough. It wasn't easy. It was, even being, pretty young, I never felt like I really fit in there. I was looked at like I was different because I had ADHD and because I was taking medications and because I had emotional behavioral disorder. There's a bunch of other testing and stuff like that they did on me when I was in elementary school that I don't really remember about. A lot of, like, I don't know, like, there was a lot of reading that I did, a lot of recordings of me doing reading or reading stuff. There was a lot of, I remember a lot of questions of, like, do you think you're Superman, or do you think you're Jesus? Like, I remember doing a lot of those questionnaires. But it seems today, like, almost fucking everybody that I've talked to has done that. It seems today that almost everybody that went to school did the same fucking shit that I did. So I don't know if my life is any different than anybody else. You can maybe tell me if your life was any different, but this is what's gone on for me. So, like, elementary school, I never really felt like I fit in. I always felt like I was made fun of, like I was goofed on, that people didn't, like, actually like me as a person. And then I was separated from people so often because, like, I would act out. I was a young kid. I had a lot of energy, and they would, like, put me in special ed rooms, put me in detention rooms. I remember there was a room with Miss Powers. She was the in-school suspension lady, and that's where you just sat at this little desk by yourself. And in my life, that's happened to me so many fucking times where it's like, well, I don't want to go there yet. We'll get there when we get there. We're at elementary school now. So elementary school, like I got beat up a lot by this kid, Alonzo Freeman. My older brother said something to his sister, called her a nigger or some shit. And since then, the kid wanted to beat my ass. So he beat my ass in the corner a couple times, gave me a black eye, bloody nose, busted lip, and stuff like that. And I never fought back, because I didn't know how to fight back. But, so this was all like 4th grade. Because I know we struggled in like 3rd grade, 2nd and 3rd grade. My family struggled with lice, so everybody kind of teased us because we were the kids with lice. And then, I had 2 older brothers, so like my older brothers, well, Nick kind of always kept to himself, so I never really had any problems with Nick. Josh was never really there, and he fought with my stepdad a lot, which, that's whatever. It didn't really affect us that much. There was just a lot of fighting going on in the house. My parents divorced when I was 3. I don't remember my parents being together at all, ever. I hardly remember my parents being in the same room at the same time, besides like my graduation and like maybe a birthday when I was younger. But even then, I think my birthdays were celebrated separate. What else? When I was in the 4th grade, I brought a knife to school because the kid was kicking my ass every day, and I was tired of it. My grandmother got us these knives, these little pocket knives, because she thought we were old enough for Christmas. She got me and my 2 other brothers ones. I talked to one of my brothers about it and said that I was going to bring a knife to school and I was going to fucking kill him, because that's the place that I felt at when I was in 4th grade, that like I had to kill somebody. Like, and I remember it vividly because I was handcuffed. Like the situation that took place. I'll explain. So I got my ass kicked every day by Alonzo Freeman, and I would literally run home from school because I was so scared of him seeing me. I would run home and this is where the attachment to Superman comes in. I would run home, and because I would hit the ground so hard, it made, and like my eyes would, my head would move. It would made me think that I was running super fast. So then I thought I was Superman running away from, my problems, basically, as a 4th grader. And he kicked my ass pretty hard a few days before this. And I didn't want to take it anymore. I didn't want to take his beatings. So I brought the knife to school, and I was sitting in class, and it was the only thing I could think about. I kept on touching it, kept on holding it, because it was like a new toy inside it, like, oh my god, I got this, like I was all excited to like use it. I was excited to like take back everything that had been taken from me, like my dignity, my fucking, like, my confidence, all that shit. I was going to take it back because I didn't do anything wrong to this fucking kid. I didn't do anything to him. I never did anything to anybody, ever. Back then, like, I fucking disrupted the class. I was a little shit. I was mean to teachers. Like, I didn't understand anything. I didn't get what was going on. I just had a lot of energy. I was freaking the fuck out. I wanted attention. That's all I wanted. I wanted attention, and then anytime that I would seek attention, it'd be pushed away, and I'd be set aside in this little room all by myself. Like, that's what happened my entire fucking life. Anytime that I tried to get attention from somebody, it was, or, anytime that I would, like, strive for attention, or anytime that, like, as a kid, you're like, oh, I need attention, and you're like, ah! It was given back to me as, like, a punishment. Like, no, you need to sit there and not do this. And you need to sit by yourself, and you don't get to distract the class, and you don't get to talk to students. You don't get this. Like, you just get to sit there and do nothing and express yourself in no way whatsoever. Like, that was kind of my life. But I brought this knife to school and I was touching it, holding it, and this girl that sat next to me was making fun of me. Said something about how I was a loser or how I was dumb or some stupid bullshit. Said something stupid. So I took out the knife and I opened up the blade and I looked at her and I said, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And she went and told the teacher, and the teacher came up and asked me, Adam, do you have a knife in your pocket? I said, yep. And then they sent me down to the office, and the principal asked me what was going on. Like, I was honest and upfront right off the bat. They're like, do you have a knife? And I was like, yeah. Like, here it is. Handed it over to the teacher. The teacher brought me to the office. The office was like, they called the police. Asked me what happened. I told her that I had, I told the fucking principal, I was like, well, so I brought the knife because I had an orange and I was going to peel the orange, and I was looking at the orange and I looked at the orange and I said I was going to peel you, and she thought that I said I was going to kill you. I mean, it was bullshit. But the cops came, they arrested me, literally put handcuffs on me, put me in the back of a police car, brought me down to the police station, took photos of me, did the whole mugshot, fingerprinting, booking, everything. Did it all. Because, yeah, I brought a knife to school. Yeah, I threatened the wrong person. What I did was wrong. But the reason why I did it, I even as a fucking 27-year-old man now, or 27-year-old kid, as I feel, like, it wasn't that crazy of a fucking thing. I got my ass kicked a lot in elementary school, and it fucking sucked. I would tell the teachers, oh, this kid's gonna kick my ass, and they wouldn't believe it. I remember one time in particular, the one time that I'm thinking about, the one time that I talked to. I was on the playground, and they just had built this new playground, and it was all wood. And I ran up to one of the teacher's aides because these kids were talking about, they were pushing me around, they were going to beat me up. And I ran up to the teachers and I said, these kids are going to beat me up, these kids are going to beat me up. And she said, no, they're not. Shut up and go play. So I was like, no, they're going to beat me up, they're going to beat me up. And she's like, no, they're not going to beat you up, I'll watch. And then I went back over to the swings, and sure enough, I got beat up. The teacher didn't do anything. Nobody saw anything. Nobody did anything. So, like, I got beat up a lot and bullied a lot in elementary school when I was just in Parkway from kindergarten to first grade. Which is fine. I mean, I get it. That everybody gets bullied, everybody gets picked on. It's a growing thing. I learned a lot from it. But when I switched schools in 5th grade, I think the knife thing got me expelled from school, or we were just like, we need to get the fuck out of here. We need to get the fuck out of this place, or something. My family moved from East St. Paul to Cottage Grove, Minnesota. And they started going to Pine Hill Elementary. My very first day, Miranda Myers came up to me and said, hi, my name's Miranda. And this is at recess. Hi, my name's Miranda. What's your name? And I looked at her and I said, fuck off. Don't talk to me. Because I was so afraid of letting people in that, I had pre-thought this out. If anybody talked to me, I'm going to tell them to go fuck themselves. If anybody talks to me, I'm not going to be friendly. I want to move, and I want to be that badass kid. I want to be that fucking kid that nobody's gonna fucking mess with because I got picked on so much. So I looked at her and she said, fuck you. And she went and told the teacher. And the teacher came over and I got sent to my, case manager, whatever the fuck you call him, caseworker person. I got sent to his office, and then I spent the rest of recess in his office on my first day of school. And then after that, it was all kind of the same thing. I remember being in my special education classes more than I remember being with other students. I remember being in school suspension by myself more than I remember being with students. Like, that's how my education was. That's how my early life was. That's how high school was. That's how junior high was. Junior high especially was like that, where I was just pushed away. I don't think there was that much wrong with me. Like, I had a learning disability where I wasn't fucking interested in what they were teaching. I wasn't fucking interested in it. I wanted to make friends because I'd never had friends. So then I wanted to, like, hi, I'm here, look at me, I'm eccentric, I'm crazy, I'm wild, I'm fun, I'm funny, I'm entertaining, I'm goofy. Like, that's who I wanted to be. That's still who I want to be because of what happened to me in elementary school, which is whatever. So, like, my childhood wasn't great. I was put on Ritalin and pills in elementary school. They stopped working. I was put on more pills in junior high. They stopped working. I was put on more pills, etc., etc., etc. And, like, my parents worked a lot. I never really saw them all that much. I remember my grandmother picking me up from elementary school a bunch because my mom would have to work, which I understand. Like, I get now how stressful life is. I get how you can't be there, and, like, I don't ever want to give that to my kids where they don't, their family isn't around. Like, especially my dad. I don't remember a lot of my dad growing up. I remember a few, like, going over there on the weekends and playing or watching my brothers play the Nintendo. I remember, playing outside a little bit. I remember going on a bike ride with him when we lived in Bloomington and getting super dehydrated. I remember Sundays were cleaning days. So every Sunday, it was either get the fuck out of the house or clean. My dad went out to the bar a lot. Woke us up 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm going to post this. Fuck you. This is the life you gave me. Whatever. But, my dad drank a lot. My mom worked a lot. My stepdad worked a lot. He worked nights when we were growing up. So we really never really ever see him because... and then when we did, it seemed like we were getting yelled at and being lectured because we were rowdy kids, because there was, 4 kids in one little house. Like, I don't know. I don't blame my family for the life. I blame myself for not being able to get over the shit. I blame myself for having it affect me so much into my adult life and never having taken care of it when I was younger. I see a lot of my friends, I see my girlfriend, and a lot of my friends that have better heads and better mindsets than where mine's at. And I notice it's because they have families that are pretty much together. They have, not saying that my family's not loving, my family's extremely loving. My family had to do what they had to do to survive. And that's that. There wasn't much else. I remember we went to Disney World with my mom when I was like 11, right after September 11th, I think it was, because it was cheap. Nobody was flying anywhere because everybody was scared, so we went. And, like, that was a fucking blast. I remember that. I remember when we were younger, I think we still lived in East St. Paul. We went to Dallas, Texas to visit some of my mom's friend. And that was fucking so much fun. We went to Six Flags down there and went on this big wooden roller coaster. And, like, I was with this guy, Don, my mom's friend's husband. And he was a much bigger gentleman back then. And I was a young kid. We rode the roller coaster together. I thought I was going to fall off. It was the scariest shit ever. It was a blast. I have a lot I have good memories. I do. Definitely have good memories. I don't think I have a lot of good memories from high school or from junior high. And I met my friend Casey. I met people who meant a lot to me early on in my life. But junior high seemed like I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have any of my own friends that I really hung out with. Anybody that I hung out with, I met through my brother, Nick. Because, like, when we first moved, it was Jessa. We met Jessa at the bus stop. And it always, like, Jessa was my friend too, but it was always kind of dramatic. And it was, like, we had a big group of friends. And then, they always kind of, like, I felt like they always kind of leaned more towards being Nick's friends and, like, everybody else's friends, and I was just kind of around. That's how I've kind of always felt, is just I've been around. I haven't really, like, until I met Casey and Alex, but before I met Casey and Alex, like, it always felt like I was just around. It felt like I was there. Like, oh, my little brother's following me around, kind of thing. My brother, and then I met Casey and Alex, and they were, like, the first people that I met that were, like, cool and, like, friends. Like, even just taking away from the fact that Alex and I were in a relationship on and off for many years, that we were engaged, whatever, like, all of that doesn't matter. Like, they were really good friends, Casey and Alex. Like, they were the first ones that hit me up to hang out. They were the first ones that were, like, calling me up to be friends with me. They were the first ones that were, like, excited to, like, see me, excited to be around me, that would, like, want to hang out. And it was a whole new fucking experience. It was literally the first time I ever felt that. Like, really actually felt that. The first time I ever met friends on my own. And it was fucking great. Like, I'm still friends with Casey. And, like, we've had our problems, we've had our issues, but, like, I love that girl to death. She's one of my best friends, even though we've been through a lot of bullshit together. Like, she's still fucking amazing. But, like, I met Casey and Alex in my 8th grade. Or my 9th grade. I think it was my 9th grade. It was 2004. 2005. I was 2004. Yeah, definitely 2004. I met them in 2004. And then Alex and I started dating in March of 2005. And then I was moved up to my dad's in December of 2006. But, so I met Alex and Casey. They became my best friends. I started hanging out with them every fucking day. As much as I could. But I was still hanging out with other people. And then Alex and I started dating in March. I was dating this girl, Liz, before I was dating Alex, is somebody that we met at a camping thing. And, like, I don't know, I was dating her just because, like, it was the first girlfriend thing. Lost my virginity to her at 14. Dated another girl before her named Brianna. That was my first kiss. We dated for like a week. And then she thought somebody told a lie that I was dating her for popularity. So then she broke up with me. And then everybody hated me after that. Everybody was kind of like, well, ew, why are you dating him? When she was dating me. Because I wasn't popular whatsoever, and she was one of the most popular girls in school. I was in 7th grade, she was in 8th grade. She was one of the most popular girls in school. I was one of the most loser kids in school, but I was, I had that badass persona, and that's what everybody liked, was that badass. I get suspended, I get kicked out of school. I tell people to fuck off. I say fuck you to people. Like, that's my persona. That's who I wanted to be when I was then. And that's who she was dating. And then she thought that she was doing, she thought that I was doing it for popularity. So we broke up. And then all those people started hating me. And all those people started making fun of me. And then I got into theater class. And I was kind of the outcast in theater class. Moral of the story of my life, I've always been the outcast. Until, I met Alex and Casey. And then I started feeling like I was my own person. And then I met up with this friend group with Janine and Randy and all of them. And that was a fucking crazy time. It was just partying and getting fucked up and doing whatever I wanted to do and getting whatever we wanted to get. That was fun, but that was idiotic because it was with a lot of stupid friends. But it was fun. But, we were drinking a lot, partying a lot, not really doing anything productive. What fucking teenagers should do, getting into a lot of trouble, doing car accidents, playing with fireworks out of vehicles. It was a lot of fun. Once we, I would say once I moved back down from my dad's house. And I would come down on the weekends for my dad's house, things would get better. When I was 15 and I got sent up to my dad's house because I was an asshole and I was sleeping with a 20-year-old girl while I was dating another girl, and she left scratch marks on my back. The school thought I was being abused by my parents. They called the cops. Cops showed up at my mom's house. My mom's house is like, this is it. I can't fucking take this anymore. He's just gone too far. Because I had. But I wasn't even doing drugs at that point, which is the funny thing. I wasn't smoking weed at all. I was scared of it. I was scared shitless of weed when I was that age. I was just fucking having fun with life, just doing whatever I wanted to do, even though I was an asshole. So my mom kicked me out. I didn't even have a chance to pack my things when I was kicked out. My dad picked me up from school, said, this is it, you're done, you're living with me now. I moved up there. I didn't come down. I wasn't able to say goodbye to anybody. My dad took my cell phone. I wasn't able to say anything to my girlfriend. It was a week and I didn't talk to anybody. And the whole cheating thing, I felt bad about it instantaneously. It wasn't something that I had really wanted to it's not something that I had planned to do, I'm going to cheat on Alex, because she meant a lot to me. I really cared about her. I did. But a little bit after that, I cared a lot about Alex. I didn't mean to cheat on her. Janine and I ended up hooking up, and then, it was a total mistake. It was a total, 20-year-old girl was getting, she was 20, I was 15. She knew what she was doing. I had no idea. I had a girl with big tits that was interested in me, that was 20 years old, that had a license, that could get me booze and get me weed and get me whatever, and was doing coke in my lap. It was holy shit. I didn't do anything on purpose. I'll never forgive myself for cheating. I'll never, it's never been a thing where I've pride in my, oh yeah, I was fucking bitching. I was never like that. It was never something that I really wanted. It was a total, it was a total fucked up situation. I wish it never happened. But it did, and life is the way it is. So, I fucking hook up with Janine. She leaves scratches on my back. I get kicked out of my mom's house. I get sent up to my dad's house. I didn't get to clean out my room. I had been writing poems that I didn't want anybody to see. My mom read my poems. She threw everything away. I lost so much stuff when I moved. I lost almost everything. I lost pretty much my entire fucking identity of before I was 15 when I was forced to move. I moved up to Becker, lived with my dad. Becker was completely fucking different than anything. Alex and I made it strong for a little while, but then she broke up with me and started dating Raph. I was hurt. I wasn't happy about it because I really cared about her. I started dating this girl, Ashley, just because Alex and I weren't having sex when we were together. I had already previously lost my virginity when I was with Alex. We weren't doing stuff. So, like, finally, you know, like, I was single, and I looked at it like, well, I'm going to try to get laid. So I saw this girl, Ashley, who was into ICP, and we were friends a little bit before then. And I was just kind of like, hey, like, do you want to date? And she said yes, so we started dating. And then, like, my whole persona changed when I was at Becker. I went from being that fucking person that I don't want anybody to fucking know who I am. And now I was this fun, energetic person. I was just like, I drank energy drinks every day. I was still looked at as this badass motherfucker. I was looked at as the way that I wanted to be looked at in Becker. Everybody was afraid of me. They all thought that I was a Satanist. You know, they all thought that I was going to bring a gun to school and shoot the fucking school up. Like, even the teachers didn't, you know, I made the teachers uncomfortable. That's who I wanted to be. I didn't want anybody to, like, feel like they could get one over on me because my ass was getting kicked when I was in elementary school. You know, like, I didn't have a lot of friends, and nobody respected me. Nobody had any respect for me or what I said or what I wanted, you know? Like, it was just all kind of shitty. So, Becker, I was able to be more over who I feel like I actually am. I wasn't afraid of what everybody's, like, assessment of me was. It was just like, whatever, I don't want to fucking be here anyway. Fuck these people. You know, I'm not going to be here that long, because I didn't think that I was going to be there for that long. But, I mean, it ended up being a while. But I met a lot of great friends in Becker. I joined a band. Becker was really good for me on some levels. I joined a band with my brother. We played a lot of shows. That was a lot of fun. I met a lot of really great people. And then, you know, I moved up there when I was 15. Right when I turned 16, I got a job, and then I just started focusing on work. Like, I didn't go out and hang out with friends every night. Like, I had friends like Steph and Kelso and all of them, but, like, they live so far away from me because you're in Becker in the middle of fucking nowhere. They all live so far away from me that I never got to see them. I never got to hang out. I never got to do anything. So I just started working all the time. And that's when I met a friend, Justin. And Justin was probably the most influential person in my time at that life. But he fucking poked fun at me and realized that it was okay to be made fun of, but he was kind of a dick about it. Like, I wanted to change who I was to better suit him. I wanted to get out of the gothic lifestyle because, you know, like, he was making fun of me for having long black hair. I'm not going to be hanging out with you if you have long black hair. If you're going to be wearing those clothes, I'm not going to hang out with you. And he was the only person that was there that would really, like, accept me. Because Steph and Kelso, they were all into this emo music scene, and that's not what I was into. They were all into, like, oh, whine, cry, I hate my life, whine, cry, and I wasn't about that. So, like, they were great friends, but I didn't get along with them. They were fucking cool people to hang out with in school, and they were fun people to socialize with in school when I wasn't put in a classroom all by myself, or when I wasn't suspended or whatever. Because when I moved up to Becker, that's when it got the worst for getting suspended, being put in in-school suspension, because they didn't like me. Nobody up there appreciated me. Nobody up there liked me. You know, like, nobody fucking understood who I was. I was this outsider coming in, and I was crazy, and I was fucking off the walls, and I was excited, and I was, you know, like, I was all this shit. So, like, nobody there really fucking liked me. So I was put in school suspension. I was put in Mr. O'Brien's room. I was talked to by so many counselors because they just wanted to figure out who I was. Because, like, I don't know why. But, so I dated Ashley, and the relationship was kind of weird. It's not what I wanted. I was a real fucking asshole to her. I started school. Justin was kind of a dick. And then, you know, I went a year of, like, hanging out with Justin, and then I really got into drinking. Started drinking, like, a case. I could drink a case of beer to myself when I really got into drinking. We would go party on the weekends. We would drive down to the cities just to party. You know, like, we were always partying, always having fun, sneaking out of class, sneaking out of home at night when my dad was sleeping to go party. Like, it was fun. It was a blast. We were blowing shit up and driving around, drinking and driving, and stuff like that. And then when I was 16, going on 17, I started talking to Alex again more, and I invited her to my 17th birthday, and, I confessed my love to her, and we hooked up, and it wasn't planned. It was probably the worst sex ever for anybody. It literally lasted 30 seconds, and, it was absolutely fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. She had already lost her virginity to Raph. I'd had sex a few times with a few other people in between this time. And, this was terrible. It was miserable. And I cheated on Ashley. Ashley found out through reading some of my emails that I had cheated on her. And that sucked. We broke up. I started dating Alex again. I got my shit together and started busting my ass in school and actually paying attention. And then in December, I moved to my mom's house again. And did the remainder of my senior year at Park, and did a super senior year at Park because I was behind on credits from Becker from failing classes and stuff. From, just being suspended and getting incompletes and all that. And then I moved back down to Cottage Grove and started partying, and then I kind of became a fucking asshole. Well, no, I mean, I was an asshole in the fact of, I just said the things that I wanted to say because people thought that I was funny. So then I kind of ran off of that and thought that, I'm just being funny, huh? And I was being an asshole to people and, judging their lives when I shouldn't have. But it was a lot of partying. It was a lot of fucking weirdness. And then after I graduated high school, I started right away a full-time job. I started assistant managing at Domino's. And then I was assistant manager at Domino's. I got a second job at Ruby Tuesdays. I worked at Ruby Tuesdays from 5 to 9. And then I'd work as a salad chef every once in a while. And in the mornings, when I didn't work at Domino's in the mornings, I would work at Ruby Tuesdays in the morning. And then I quit Domino's because there was a bunch of bullshit that was going on. I wasn't fucking happy at all. Quit Domino's. Started to work more. I got this idea that I wanted to be a cop around this time because my buddy Nate was talking about being a cop, and I thought it'd be cool to fucking kick down a door. So this is when I started becoming a real fucking dick. And I went got this job as a security officer, and I worked as a security officer at this job making $10 an hour in a guard shack at Menards, and it was fucking miserable. Fucking miserable. My life sucked. I took it out on everybody that was around me. And then right after that, I started going to college. I went to Inver Hills Community College to be law enforcement officer. The people in this school were fucking assholes, besides the teachers. The teachers were pretty awesome. I took sociology class, was my favorite class. I went to school to be a police officer. I took 1 year's term in 1 year and 1 term. I passed all my classes, got C's and B's and 1 D. And then I got a job at Transportation Security Administration. And so I had already applied for school, already signed up for all my classes. I was a few weeks away from starting school, but the training for TSA was going to go over the top of my school. So I asked my high school professor, my criminal justice professor, I was like, hey, what should I do? I have this awesome opportunity to work for the Transportation Security Administration. Should I take this opportunity? And she said, fuck yeah, take it. Go work for TSA. Go do that. And then come back. School will always be here. You want the experience. So I started working for TSA. That was a fucking nightmare. Being called a piece of shit, being called a child molester. It was great because I felt like I was finally making a move in my life. I felt like I was actually doing something. I was 20 years old and I just started 19 years old, and I just started working for the United States government. I was getting paid $30,000 a year, just pretty much fresh out of high school with no experience. So I worked for TSA, and that was a blast. That was a lot of fun. I worked there from January, and then I became a fucking asshole because I hated my life. And everything fucking sucked. So I fucking started taking it out on everybody else because my shit sucked at my previous job before that. TSA fucking sucked. It wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. But, you know, like, I still felt like I was making this name for myself, and everybody was so happy with the status that I had done, that I was this fucking government employee, and everybody was so happy with this status. And then, like, I became an asshole. I was getting called a piece of shit every day. I was being called a child molester, and it really got to me. Working at TSA took everything out of my confidence. Everything. Being called a child molester, a piece of shit, that, you know, I wasn't, you know, like, I was thanked every once in a while, but, like, I wasn't there to be an asshole to people. I was there just because, like, I wanted to be a police officer. This is what I had to do to be a police officer, and this is where I had to go. And, like, it was the most disrespect, and I thought I was doing something, like, positive. Like, the TSA made you feel like you were doing something proactive, something positive, that you were helping people. And then the public was just fucking unruly, and it was hard. And being 20 years old, 19 years old, whatever, 20 years old, and going through that and being told, you know, like, you're a piece of shit, and, you know, and I really felt it. I gained weight. I got up to my heaviest at 270 pounds. I would eat fast food nonstop. I had this thing where when I was working at TSA, that I'd be able to eat a Big Mac and a large fry, or not a Big Mac, I'm sorry, Whopper with bacon and cheese, a large fry, and a large drink in 5 minutes, and then I'd go smoke 3 cigarettes because I had a 15-minute break. I gained a bunch of weight. I got up to 170 pounds, or 270 pounds, and then my brother Josh got married in April, and then on April 20th, I freaked out on Alex. We were still together during this. I freaked out because she went out and smoked weed. I knew that she was lying to me. I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. I was having a hard time at work, and I fucking flipped. I freaked the fuck out, and a few days after that, she left. I ended up being homeless. I slept in the parking ramp at TSA for a little bit because I didn't want to, you know, see anybody. I moved into my friend Janine's house right after that, which was a fucking nightmare. It was hard. Once Alex left, because I was with her for so long and I wanted to be with her so bad, like, it sucked. And because I was working this job where I felt like I was a piece of shit, it even sucked worse. And then, like, you know, like, I was homeless. I lived with my mom before I lived with Alex, and then I moved in with Alex to her place because her mom and Dave were living in Monticello or some shit like that. So they're like, yeah, we need somebody to watch the house. So then, like, I kind of moved in there. And then, like, Dave kicked me out. Alex broke up with me. And then, like, I really contemplated suicide. I really wanted to kill myself after that. I didn't. But that was hard, going to work every day. And I did it. I lived with Janine, and then I started dating this Naomi girl because she saw that I was hurting. It was like 2-3 weeks after I left Alex. We were together for fucking, like, on and off for 7 years before that. Naomi saw that I was hurting, said, hey, I'm gonna move in on this guy. She was in a relationship. She wanted to get out of the relationship, so she started hanging out with me more. And then we started hanging out, we started dating, and that was a shitty relationship. But I don't want to talk about that now. We'll stop it there. We'll stop it at when I moved into Janine's house. So this is April of 2000, or April of 2011. April of 2011, I moved in with Janine. And life went to hell after that. Like, she moved out shortly after, and we just fought all the time. The house was always a fucking mess. They were always fucking rude. I didn't like smoking in my room. Like, I wasn't a pot smoker at the time. I was working at TSA. I wasn't a fucking pot smoker. They smoked pot. And I was like, listen, dude, my uniforms can't smell like weed. You got, like, come on. I work for the government. And they would smoke weed in my room. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. Like, it was bad. She moved into her mom's house a little bit after that. And then we got into this huge fight because I had my brother, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's friend over. And she freaked out. This isn't a huge party house. So then I moved out into an apartment on my own, still working at TSA. I said I was going to stop it, but whatever. Still working at TSA. I got to take care of this chip repair. Hold on. I'll be right back. I just got to do this chip repair real quick. Okay, sorry. So I moved in with Janine in April. In August 1st, I think, I moved into my apartment in Inver Grove Heights, right across the street from the college. Because I was planning on going back to college, because I was still working at TSA and I still wanted to be a cop. So for $600 a month, I was making $1,200 a month. Working at TSA. I was making $1,200 a month. I had a motorcycle. I had the Kawasaki Vulcan Mean Streak 1600 that I bought. I guess I should say that. So in March, before Alex left me, I wanted a motorcycle. So we went out and she co-signed for a loan on me with a motorcycle. In May, right like 3 or 4 days after my 21st birthday, I went to go wash the motorcycle and I got into a motorcycle accident. Somebody pulled out in front of me when I was, they had a stop sign. They didn't stop. They didn't see me. They just kept going. It was like a 2007 Ford F-150 or some shit like that. So like a big truck. This big truck hit me. I hit the front driver's side fender and got stuck underneath the truck for a little bit. My motorcycle was totaled. It put a lot of things into perspective for me. That was the first time that I ever thought that I was really going to die. You know, besides having some heart issues when I was a little bit younger, when I was 16. It's the first time I ever thought that I was actually going to die. And it was right after Alex left me. It was when I was with Naomi. And of course, like, so when Alex left me and I started dating Naomi, it was definitely like one of those like, oh my God, it was a rebound thing. Like, I'm sorry if Naomi ever sees this, but she was only ever supposed to be a rebound. I never wanted to date her. I knew who she was as a person. I knew that she was kind of a not a nice person. I knew that she wasn't that great, and she ended up not being that great. And I should have listened to myself, but it taught me a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure she was cheating on me a bunch. I'm pretty sure, I know she was cheating on me just the way that she was talking to people. I know that she probably hooked up with other people. Or not even probably. I know she hooked up with other people. Like, but anyway. So, I moved into an apartment in August. And then lived there. Naomi and I got a dog named Yoda. She was going to move in with me in the apartment and help me pay rent because I couldn't make it on my own. And then she left. Sent me a text breaking up with me. I started feeling the pain from both losses of Naomi and Alex, and I started drinking heavily again. I would drink by myself. I drank an entire bottle of Jameson one night, like a entire 175 of Jameson to myself. Like I was just trying to party and I was just trying to have fun. I was just trying to get away from all the pain. But then I didn't meet anybody in that time in between Naomi and I. I would just party a lot and sit at home by myself and go on the motorcycle. And then in November or December, Naomi and I got back together. And then shortly after that, I lost my apartment. They kicked me out. So, the maintenance guy heard a dog barking and entered my apartment without any knocking or anything, just walked right in. And that was fucked up. So, I left. I was behind on rent. They just wrote it off. I left, vacated, moved in with Naomi and her parents, which sucked. Got my shit together a little bit, got my credit back together, and then moved in with my brother and Naomi into a townhouse in Woodbury, where I was working full time, making $30,000 a year. I was making I was making $30,000 a year. Our rent was $1,200 a month, or $1,050 a month in the townhouse. We could afford it all. And then 3 months later, I lost my job at TSA because it was hard being called a piece of shit every day and wanting to go to work. It was hard being called a child molester and wanting to go to work. It was hard going home and having a bitch of a girlfriend and, dealing with that. It was hard going home and having a bitch of a girlfriend that wasn't picking up after the dogs, that wasn't doing anything, and I had to do everything. That shit was fucking hard. So I was stressed out. So then, I wouldn't go to work. I was getting sick. I've had stomach issues my entire life where, I've had constant stomach pain my entire life. So I've always had stomach aches. I've always had stomach pain. It's always been rough for me on the, stomach issue department. So, I called in a lot, and when I got into the motorcycle accident, I took a week off of work because I was hurt, but they counted it towards me, and because I was still on probationary period, which is 2 years long as probationary period, I was a month away from being done with my probationary period. They fired me, or let me go, and then I lost everything. I lost the townhouse, I lost Naomi shortly after that. I started working at Domino's. My Crown Vic died. I got a new piece of shit car, started working at Domino's. Naomi started fucking my manager at Domino's, even though I got her a job there. And then quit Domino's and moved up to St. Cloud with my buddy Justin, because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was evicted. I was squatting in the townhouse for a few weeks after we were forced to move out. I moved up to St. Cloud with Justin, and then just wanted to party. Alex kind of came back into my life because Casey came back into my life, and I started going to raves, started going to shows, started doing ecstasy. Moved out of Justin's house just because I couldn't afford it. Because I started working for my dad. I was working 2-3 days a week then. So I was only making $50-$60 a week. And then I would have to pay $200 a month in rent. Then Justin lost his job, and that really stressed me out because I thought that, I got it into my head that, well, I have to shape up and I have to be the one that pays all the bills, when that wasn't the case. And then I thought that, because I was doing all these drugs, I was fucked up, and I thought that he was trying to, fuck me over. And I started smoking weed when I lived in the apartment after I lost my job at TSA and started working at Domino's. So I was smoking weed at this time and doing other drugs. After I lost my job at TSA, I started smoking weed. I worked at Domino's and was smoking pot. And then, I found that and it started helping me out. I'd smoke weed every once in a while. So then, I thought Justin was fucking me over. So then I moved out of Justin's house because I couldn't afford it. And because I got stuck down in the cities, I drove down to the cities one weekend and didn't have any money to get back. So then I stayed there and never went back. And I couldn't make it home. So then I couldn't pay him. So then I was just like, dude, I can't do it. And I don't know. I want to do another video entitled The Drug Years, because that's where a lot of more shit really happened. So I'm at 55 minutes. So I'm going to, pretty much end this here at, coming up to the drug years when I was with Justin and how I lost my friendship with him, where it was I thought he was fucking me over. I thought that he was trying to get one over on me and I didn't have any money. And then I was, lost. And so I just stopped hanging out with him. I moved out, and I haven't talked to him since. The last time I talked to him was the last time that I moved out, really. And it was, it's sad. He was even though he was a fucked up person, he was still kind of a good friend because, he liked to party. And this new Justin that I met, it's just, I don't know. I fucking loved living with him, but I hated fucking living in St. Cloud because I felt so alone. All my friends were down here. But my next video I'm going to title The Drug Years, and I'm going to go into more about my drug addiction, more about that stuff. And this was just about, this is about me. This is, my life. A little touch base of an hour of my life and what's gone on in my life from what I can remember right now. So I'm going to go back to work because I'm sure my boss is pissed off that it's late now. It's not late, but I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to post this online. So let me know what you think. Yeah. See ya.